Let's talk about compressed air. Compressed air is really common in many shops, and it's really useful. Compressed air can be used to power different tools and machines. It can also be used just as an air hose, just to spray off items as well. We have air hoses hanging above each workbench and at other places around the shop. You can use these for machines and tools as needed. You may think that there's not much danger involved with compressed air because it's just air. However, having that attitude is what can make compressed air dangerous. It can be just as dangerous and harmful as any other tool in the shop. If you're using one of these air hoses, they have a reel up on the ceiling. So you can pull it down, and then at a certain point, you can hear the little click and it'll click into place. I always recommend pulling down more hose than you think you need. It's always nice to have some extra slack, and it's always frustrating if you're working with it and you run out of room on the air hose and have to pull down more. On the air hose, they have fittings that look like this. There's a little sleeve or collar that can slide back and forth. Any of the air hose type tools have the other end of that fitting. To connect it, you want to pull back on the sleeve, insert the other tool, press it into place, and then let that sleeve go. Then that machine can be used. When you're removing a tool from the compressed air, you want to use both hands, so one hand on the tool and one hand on the air. And we just do the opposite of putting it on. You want to press the tool towards the compressed air just slightly, and then you can use your fingers to pull that sleeve down and remove that tool. Here's another example. We're often using pneumatic hand sanders. Same thing. Pull back the sleeve, insert the tool, let go of the sleeve. This one you can tell, this fitting must be a little old. You can hear some excess air leaving the tool. It's not ideal, but it's actually not dangerous as well. You can still use that machine, okay? If there ever is an issue or something that seems wrong, come and let me know. I'll double check it and make sure that everything's okay. Many times in the shop, we'll be using an air hose. This can be used to carefully dust off a workbench or dust off a machine. However, you really don't need to pull and go full blast on that. All that does is kick up a cloud of dust, and then we're all choking in the shop. So if you're using an air hose, I recommend just squeeze just a little bit. Usually you don't need much air when you're cleaning things off. And honestly, oftentimes just a hand brush can work just as well. A lot of times you'll get dusty working in the shop and you may want to use the air hose to brush yourself off. You just want to make sure. You would never want to take the air hose and put it directly towards your skin and use it. If that air finds its way to your bloodstream, and if it travels to your heart, then it could be fatal. So we want to make sure that we are always, a good 8 to 10 or 12 inches away, whether we're dusting ourselves off or whether we're cleaning something off on a table or machine. We always want to maintain that distance. And we never really need to, have full blast on the air. But it is okay at the end of class to use the air hose to dust off. Just be really careful of eyes and ears. You'd never want to directly spray it into your eyes or your ears, or there could be damage there as well. Make sure that you don't spray off or point it directly at somebody else either. Take care if you're using the air hose to clean off an area. Make sure you know where you're spraying it. Try not to spray it directly at another person, and try to spray it so that it'll be, when it comes to the ground, it'll be in an easy spot for us to sweep up. When you're using one of these ceiling mounted air hoses above the workbenches, take care when you're pulling that air hose out, you never want to pull it 100% of the way out or it can get stuck. Also, when you're reeling it back in, you never want to just let go and let it reel as fast as possible. Otherwise, it can get jammed up there. So what I recommend is actually just looking up and watching it reel. Use your hands on the air hose, and as you're watching it, make sure that it's reeling back and forth so that it's not going to get stuck or jammed. If you do all those things, then you can use the air hose safely, and it can be really useful with different tools.